Just starting out on the hike up to Mount Peale. Can't see it through the woods. Just left my car parked down where I was camped over by Medicine Lake. And I am just going to bushwhack and intersect the trail. The trailhead is down to the left, but the trail just cuts right through here. It only took about 7 or 8 minutes to hike through the woods and up across the plains over to here. I know the trail is just ahead of me somewhere in this open area. There's Mount Peale, and there's the big long scree section you have to go up. Now here's the trail. Knew it wasn't too far. I brought my light pack today. Did not bring the drone. I think this is probably the most climbed mountain in the La Salles. I still don't think it gets climbed super often, but since it's the highest peak in Utah outside of the Uintas, people do come climb it. So if there were a mountain where I was going to encounter other people on the trail, it would be this one. So I don't want to fly the drone around if there might be other people. And I already flew it on Tuck, which is right down the ridge, so it's going to look pretty similar. And there's a very long scree field to go up, so I want as little weight as possible. It feels very nice having the light pack instead of the usual heavy one. I've been going steadily up next to gigantic scree fields on both sides, but so far there's been a path of dirt going up, so I haven't had to go on the scree yet. But I know it's coming up here soon, where the regular ground is going to run out, and then it's just going to be up this loose rock the entire rest of the way. Well, it turns out walking up the snow is much easier than the scree. Unfortunately, there's not a ton of it. Don't need the micro spikes or anything, just sticking along the edge. And then the snow runs out, and I'm back to the scree again. But it was nice while it lasted. There's like a semi-trail up on the right. I can't really tell if it's a real trail or not, but it is much easier to go up the dead center of the ravine. Just passed from shadow into sun. This has been a lot of up, and there's still quite a bit left to go. At this point, I leave this gully and start going up towards the ridgeline. Well, it turns out the scree going up the gully was the easy part. After you leave the gully and start heading up towards the ridge, this part is atrocious. It is extremely loose. There is a trail, but it is so eroded and just loose rock. It is very difficult to make progress up it. You slide back a half a step for every step you take. But I'm sliding back down, not even moving. I am getting close to the ridge. There, made it up onto the ridge. There's Talking Mountain, Tuck, and I still have a ways to go to get up to the summit of Peale. been a pretty nice hike up here. Not bad. Easy walking on the rock. Nice ridge. And looks like this will be the summit. Nice big wind shelter up here. And here we are on top of Mount Peale. Alright, standing on the highest point on Mount Peale, 12,720 feet. Highest point in Utah outside of the Uintas. Still quite hazy. So I'm just going to hang out up here for a while, see if the sun burns off this haze. Probably sit down here on this rock in the wind shelter. Looking down on South Mountain and down a very tiny bit on Tuck. I don't think Peale's much higher than Tuck. 200 feet tops. I think it was less than that even. Depending on how long I wait up here, I think I'll stop over at Talking Mountain before I head back down and leave Laurel and Mellonton for another day. Well, unfortunately, it does not look like this haze is going to clear up at all. Been up here about half an hour. Still looks pretty much exactly the same to me. I looked up, I have a little bit of signal. It sounds like there were some wildfires to the west somewhere that are blowing over this way, and that's what the haze is from. There are poor air quality warnings for Moab today. So I don't think this is going to burn off anytime soon. So I'm just going to head back down. It's unfortunate because I really wanted to see the view from up here over towards the San Juan Mountains in the east. But I could see them better yesterday. It's not going to be much different than the view from South Mountain over there, so no big deal. I've seen that view just from a slightly different angle over there a few days ago. Well, like 2 minutes after I filmed that last piece, I saw a guy come up by that rock right where I came up, and he was like looking down and talking to someone else, or at least looking down at them. And then like 30 seconds later, I wasn't looking at them anymore, and I heard it sounded like a rock slide. It echoed around. And then when I looked over, he wasn't there anymore, and I haven't seen them coming along the ridge. So it seems very unlikely that there was a rock slide there. It didn't seem like a very loose place. But I'm going to start heading back now, just in case there's someone over there that needs help. Made it back down to the ridge I came up at. Past 2 solo hikers on the way back down. So they were not related to the landslide. It's impossible to tell out here where the sound of the rock fall is coming from because it all just echoes around. But the girl that's up on the top now also heard it, but didn't know where it came from. The guy coming behind her was really struggling. I told him he was past the hard part, but he looked like he was going to have some trouble making it up to the top. I'm going to continue along the ridge here out to Talking Mountain. It turned out Talking Mountain was super easy. It took me like 15 minutes to get over here. So I'm going to continue on and do one more. I'm going to do Laurel Mountain over here. Well, to get over to Laurel, I have to go across this very rocky, unnamed peak. I don't think there's a way to get around the side of it, unfortunately. I don't know if you'll be able to see him way up there, but the woman I passed has made it to the top, been up there, is on the way down, and she and that guy have met in the middle of the last ridge and are talking now. He's getting close. He's definitely going extraordinarily slow, but I think he's going to make it. And it has gotten windy over here. Well, this summit in between the actual named mountains is significantly more strenuous than Talking Peak was. I'm definitely counting this as a summit. I don't care if it doesn't have a name. Whew. Still not bad climbing though. It's on rock, but it's fairly stable rock. Not. I like hikes just up the rock like this, where it's stable rock, but it's nice and craggy and jagged. And when you're on the ridge, you have views all around. Okay, just gotta make it over there, down, and up to Laurel. And then do it all in reverse. Whew. Well, I made it up to the top of this unnamed peak. That guy has almost made it to the top. I keep looking over to see if he's made it. He's like 2/3 of the way up that last ridge, but he keeps stopping to rest like every 2 steps. Still pretty hazy out there. Very pleasant ridge walk though. The rock has been pretty stable. Getting down from this might be slightly less stable. Probably would have been easier to go around the base, but I wanted to come up to the top of this one. Don't know why it doesn't get a name. I'm not completely up on what makes something count as a separate peak or not, but I think this should be a peak. I'm going to call it Overlooked Peak, and that's mountain number 3 of the day. Well, coming down from Overlooked Peak was the sketchiest part of the hike so far. Very loose and steep rock. Not horrifically bad, about the same as, only slightly worse than Tuck yesterday. Getting closer to Laurel. Lost the view of the summit over there of Peale, so I can't tell if that guy ever made it, but surely he has by now. Well, coming down the head wall there was a little exciting, but not too bad. And I could see that guy was standing up at the top up there, so he made it. He was a young, athletic-looking guy, but he said he wasn't used to the altitude. He was going like a couple steps and then resting, so it took him a very long time, but he made it. At the rate he's going though, I may run into him on the way back. But surely he'll go faster on the way down. I'm about to start up Laurel, and there is a metal cage here. It appears to have nothing in it. What on earth is this for? It's staked down with rebar on all the corners. I do not have the slightest clue what this would be for. I don't see any plant they're trying to protect in there. Just looks like normal grass. Huh. Well, that's a mystery. Well, this is just a scramble getting up here. It's only semi-loose though. I still don't think it's as bad as Tuck was. Every once in a while, I think I see a path winding through the rocks. But then it vanishes, and I have no idea if these are intended paths or how these paths in the rock even form. I'm really hoping that's actually the top. Not a full summit. It goes on at least a little further. Alright, getting closer. Peak number 4 of the day, Mount Laurel. All 4 of these are over 12,000 feet too. Laurel is 12,270, and yes, I'm still counting overlooked peak. I don't know what makes that not count as a peak. Thought I heard a rock slide, but it's these people down on the side of the mountain down there. I have no idea what they're doing over there, but it looks like a terrible place to be. They're causing minor rock slides. It is very tempting to go up Millington while I'm here, but I had originally only planned to do Peale and maybe Talking if I was up for it. So I have 1 bottle of water and like a third bottle of Gatorade left. It is extremely tempting to go over there and do that. I can always melt snow and put it through my water filter. Nope, I need to turn around. This hike's already longer than I planned, and I want to save hikes here to do in the future when I come back on another trip after I read that book about the area and when it's not all hazy and I can see things. So I'm gonna have a snack up here, watch these people down here, and see what terrible thing they're trying to do, and have a nice rest before I head back. Had a very nice break up at the top on Laurel here. The woman that I passed on the way down that was going up to Peale continued on across, and it looks like she's going to attempt the Razor Fang. The guy, somehow, you can't see him now, he just now got to the bottom of that first ridge coming down from the summit. He is so slow, that is absurd. These guys were coming up and they're just now getting up onto the ridge. So for some reason they were coming from down there, which seems like the worst possible way to get up here, but I don't know. They seem to be struggling quite a bit too. Well, I made it back across to Overlooked Peak. Those people that were coming up to the pass between Laurel and Millington are going up Millington, which seems like the worst possible route to do that mountain. I'm sure they must have had some reason for it, but I can't fathom what it would be. That guy is almost up to where you come up on the pass. He's approaching that rock I stopped at when I first got up. So he will start back down before me, but I suspect that I'm going to pass him on the way down. Well, I thought there was someone ahead of me on the trail, but it's just a trail camera I forgot they had set up here to keep track of wildlife. I saw the girl who went over and did the Razor Fang come out the other side, and she's on her way over to Tuck now. I'm just about up Talking Mountain, and after that just descend along the ridge to the point between Talking and Peale, and just downhill from there. There's one bad scree section on the way down, but I don't think it'll be too bad. It has gotten less hazy over to the west, definitely, but to the east, still looking pretty hazy. Tomorrow is an off day, where I'm driving out to Moab, resupplying, and then driving down to the north side of the LaSalle Range. now that I've hiked every mountain in the south and middle portion other than Mellonton, which I'll come back for at some point. There are supposed to be mountain goats up here. I saw a tuft of fir up on top of Tuck, but I have not seen any mountain goats. And I've obviously been on all the mountains down here, so I don't know where they're hiding at. In spite of the haze, I think this has probably been my favorite hike of the trip so far. I love the ridge hikes. They're my favorite. There's another hidden trail camp over there. Very, very pleasant day today. Can't be higher than 65 right now. Just warm enough that I'm not cold, but I'm not hot at all. Despite climbing up and over 4 mountains, 5 if you count doing talking twice, since I had to do it both directions. But it is absolutely beautiful up here. Oh my goodness, he still hasn't started back down. He's still standing at the top waiting. I'm gonna pass him before he even starts down. I better check in with him and make sure he doesn't have altitude sickness. In the time that he went from the ridge above him there where I passed him up to the top there, I came down, went across this ridge, came up this mountain, went up 2 more, came back down them, came back across, and now I'm about to meet up with him again. So I feel like there's something wrong with him. We'll see. I'll have a chat with him when I catch up to him and see if he seems like he's doing okay. I'm in the horrible loose dirt descent section down from Peale. I talked to that guy. He's out there on the ridge now. He said he was feeling fine, didn't have any symptoms of altitude sickness, and said he just wanted to walk down the ridge further. So, hope he'll be okay. I don't know that I've ever seen a slower hiker in my life. It's not like he just stopped and took a long break somewhere. He keeps walking like 10 steps and then stopping for a couple minutes. Alright, I should probably use 2 hands and poles here. Well, I finally finished the very long dirt path you come down. It is very eroded and slippery, but I made it down without falling. And once I get down to the snow, then it'll be loose scree the rest of the way, which is somehow an improvement. I saw that guy look down at me from the edge up there while I was on the trail back over there and start heading back towards where you start the descent for the ridge, which is good. I think he was unaware of where you go down at and was walking all the way down to the start of the gully to start going down along the ridge, which would have been a horrible way to come down. So I'm glad he saw me go on the actual trail to know where to go. Hopefully he makes it back down okay. He seemed fine other than being unbelievably slow. Okay. This section will be not as bad as the last section, but still not the best. I successfully made it back down. Going down was not as much fun as going up. Less exertion, but my feet are a little sore. Just constant rock hopping. This is where I'm leaving the trail. Just go this way through the woods to get back to where I'm camped. Hike ended up being, it'll be about 7.3 miles when I get back. 3,500 feet of elevation gain in 6.5 hours. Awesome hike. I think my favorite of the trip so far. Very nice ridge to walk along up there. No crazy dangerous moves getting up over any of them. Just all around a very, very nice hike. Only downside was the haze. But other than that, fantastic weather, beautiful hiking. Definitely looking forward to seeing what the other side of those cells look like.